The M4 MacBook Pro has been interesting to say the least. Look, I've been using the M1 Max MacBook Pro all the way since 2021 when it first came out. I even made a video this summer literally talking about how I think it's still worth it 3 years later. And then the M4 chips were announced. And a lot of people are saying that this might be the year where an upgrade from the M1 is finally justifiable. So I decided to put it to the test. This is the M4 Max MacBook Pro 14-inch that I've been using, and I've got some thoughts. It's first important to understand how I use the computer. This will set us a baseline and so you can compare what your use cases may be. First and foremost, I use it to edit videos for YouTube, for Instagram, for TikTok, all social media platforms. It's an editing machine. Secondly, I run all my businesses out of this. So my clothing brand, my content creation, everything that I do, it's all run out of my computer. I use it to edit pictures on Lightroom and Photoshop, and I do a lot of graphic design work, designing new things for my clothing company, editing thumbnails, basically anything graphic intensive, I do it on the computer. And then also just some light work like web browsing, scripting videos, using Notion, a lot of media consumption on YouTube, Netflix. Another important thing to note is that when I'm using it most of the time at home, it's plugged into the studio display. All right, so the reason I made the video in the summer about the M1 Max still being worth it is that I felt that that machine could accomplish whatever I needed it to do. It was fast enough. It doesn't lag significantly when I'm doing any sort of work on it. The export times are fine, and I'm able to execute whatever workflow I needed to without any major interruptions or issues. Okay, so by now you probably know what's new on the M4 Max, but let's just go over it real quick. First of all, the chip itself, obviously this is the biggest and most notable upgrade. It's faster, it's more efficient, it's optimized for Apple Intelligence, but you already know all this stuff. What's also new to me is the space black color. I'm coming from space gray, and I really absolutely thought I would love this color. Don't get me wrong, it is absolutely beautiful when it's clean, but it collects a lot of fingerprint magnets. Now, it's still my favorite color. I'd still prefer it over the silver, to be honest, but it is a fingerprint magnet more so than the space gray. Thunderbolt 5. So on the M4 Pro and the M4 Max models, all the USB-C ports on them are Thunderbolt 5. To be honest, this has no bearing on my workflow whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure that might be the case for a lot of people. Yes, it's a nice feature to have, but it shouldn't be the only reason you're upgrading. And if it is, you know exactly who you are. The nano texture screen. Now, I didn't get this version with the nano texture option. I've been watching it online and people really seem to be loving it. To me though, there's something just so satisfying about that glossy display. The contrasts and the blacks are super deep. I don't know, maybe it's something that I need to test more in person, but for me, I'm a glossy display type of person. What I do like, however, though, is that it's only like a $150 upgrade, so it's not like a crazy amount that you're paying for the nano texture. So if you want to go for it, go for it. The size is also different for me. So I'm coming from a 16-inch and this one is a 14-inch. Now it's great for travel. It's great for throwing it inside your backpack, taking it around different places. It doesn't feel too big, but when I'm using it not connected to a studio display, I can't lie, part of me does miss the bigger screen, especially when I'm editing videos in Final Cut Pro and I like to see my whole timeline and at least see the whole window. But at home, when it's plugged into the studio display, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. It obviously feels more portable, like that's pretty much a given, but I don't think that I need a 14-inch MacBook enough for me to justify going from 16 to 14 just for that reason. Speaking of the screen itself, I mean, it's brighter. It now goes to 1,000 nits. To be honest, yes, it is brighter, but this is not a reason to upgrade. Both the screen on my M1 Max MacBook and my M4 MacBook, like they've been both amazing. They're both fine. So if the screen is a deciding factor for you, you can't go wrong with either option. You'll just get a little bit brighter of a screen on the new one. Now, Apple Intelligence. This is a little bit of an interesting topic. New features are continuously being rolled out. It's like the new Mac software has a bunch of Apple Intelligence features. Final Cut Pro just got an update, so that has some AI features now. But to be fully honest, I haven't really used any of them to that extent. I haven't really even taken the time to learn how I can use them in my workflow because at this point I don't feel like I need them too much. What is nice, however, and this is probably a consequence of Apple Intelligence, is that all the base models of the Macs across the platform now start with 16 gigabytes of RAM. But maybe this is something like down the line when I really start using these AI features that I'm gonna have to upgrade for. But I feel like right now, until my workflow drastically changes where I need to upgrade, I'm fine without them. None of these features even really caught my eye. There's nothing that I'm looking at and like, wow, this is like a feature that's gonna change my workflow whatsoever. I mean, they're all just kind of nice. Okay, so this video is meant to give you my opinion on if the new M4 Max MacBook is worth it. Let me preface this by saying that the new MacBooks are insanely good. It's the best of the best of what Apple offers in their MacBook lineup. And if you get it, you will not be disappointed. It's gonna handle pretty much everything you throw at it with ease. It's gonna be overkill for a lot of people, and there's nobody who's gonna get it and regret, oh, I shouldn't have bought this because it's not gonna do what I needed to do. You're pretty much safe in that category. That being said, right now, it's over $4,500 in Canada. The Canadian dollar screws us, but it's a separate point. I can't justify spending over $4,000 on an upgrade when my M1 Max MacBook Pro is doing just fine. Yes, it does do a few things quicker. It's a little bit snappier. It has a little bit less lag when I'm really throwing intensive timelines and intensive tasks at it. It's just not worth 4K of an upgrade for me though. I view my M1 Max MacBook as like my workhorse. And until I am unable to do what I need that machine to do, until everything is so slow and it's actually affecting my productivity and output, I don't think I need to upgrade. And honestly, if you're finding a great deal on an M1, M2, M3 processor, go with it. And all those reasons are why I'm going to be returning my MacBook to the Apple Store right after making this video. Anyways, my name is Aryan. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. Click that subscribe button and I'll see you all in the next video.